Hi everybody, welcome back or welcome to the channel. It's your boy Reactee, and today we're doing a slapped hand video. Warning, these scary videos triggered mass panic online. Now I jumped ahead about 3 minutes or so. Actually I wanted to go here. Oop, go back here. We saw that first clip like 3 or 4 times already.
Each piece on its own could be dismissed,
yeah, this
but
one
together
here.
they paint a picture that's hard to ignore.
We've seen this a bunch of times, so I'm not going to do this
what
one
was
again.
stalking through this house that night,
So
and
we'll
why
wait
could it only
here
be
for a
seen
second
in a
and
reflection?
go to the next one.
A Reddit user, Release the Slab, recently shared some deeply unsettling Ring camera footage that was captured just a few miles from their home. The clip, recorded in the middle of the night, shows a thin, naked figure walking through someone's yard. The OP assumed it was most likely someone under the influence of drugs, but admitted they weren't entirely sure what to make of it. There's something about a figure like this caught on camera in the dead of night that gets under your skin.
Sorry about that. I forgot to enlarge the full screen the video. That could just be a gentleman with a mental disorder. He's very skinny and bony. You can see pretty much every bone in his back and shoulder blades, everything. He's really skinny. That's not healthy. But this poor gentleman, he might be on some kind of mental distress. I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's a spooky haunted phenomena. I just think it's some poor gentleman with some issues.
Skin. No clothing, no obvious destination, just a thin silhouette drifting through someone's property, as if the rest of the world doesn't exist. What would you do if this was your front yard? Let me know in the comments. A man recording on his Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses has captured something deeply unsettling inside his own home. In the footage, the man is walking through his house when he notices something odd.
What the? I know I just saw her.
What appears to be his baby son standing upright, peering around a corner.
I think we've actually seen this before too. I think we decided this was probably fake because I'm assuming there's somebody holding the baby, because his clothes look kind of tight here, so there could be a hand on the other side just out of view. You can't really see the rest of them, so you're not quite sure, but this is probably fake, just for shock value.
He does a visible double take.
I know I just saw her.
When he goes to check on his child, he finds the baby lying down in his bassinet, exactly where he left him.
Yo, am I tripping?
Now here's where it gets truly chilling. If you slow the footage down on replay, you can actually see the child peering around the corner. The fact that this was captured on smart glasses makes it especially compelling. There's no setup, no framing, just a first-person perspective catching something that shouldn't be there.
Now when he comes around the corner, the kid's in his little swing here, and it's rocking. So somebody could have put the baby back in his bed and just had it rocking. I'm not quite sure, but it's a little strange, but I still don't think it's real. It's hard to tell though. And apparently there's been a lot of hoopla with those Meta glasses. A lot of people on the internet are calling them the perv glasses, because people are doing creepy videos of them. You know what? I forgot I left my fan on. You're probably hearing that this whole time. people are just taking creepy videos with these glasses, and no one knows that they're doing it, and then they're posting it online to different social media outlets. So apparently there's a bunch of lawsuits coming into effect, and there's going to be safety features added to the Meta glasses. So it's going to be wild.
Yo, am I tripping?
Canadian.
Now, you may have noticed I don't have my blanket on. It's over in the chair back there. That's because it's so darn hot right now that it's like 9:30 in the morning. It's already 79 degrees in the house. So it's been stupid hot lately. So I'm not doing that. And that's why I had the fan still going, because it was hot just sitting here.
Pop star and model Milo LV was filming a selfie video by the pool when her fans spotted something chilling in the background.
We've seen this before too. There's a person somewhere back there watching them.
In the clip, what appears to be a child's face with completely black eyes
I'm not sure if it's a child's face, but there's definitely a person back there watching them. Like I said, it's weird.
briefly materializes behind her. Milo didn't notice anything unusual at the time and only learned about it after fans flooded her comments pointing out the eerie detail. Black-eyed children are one of the more unsettling phenomena in paranormal folklore. Reports describe encounters with children or teenagers whose eyes are entirely black, with no visible whites or irises. Witnesses often describe an overwhelming sense of dread in their presence, and the encounters typically follow a pattern. The children appear at doorsteps or in car parks, often at night, politely, but insistently asking to be let in. While skeptics attribute the phenomenon to contact lenses, urban legend, or simple misidentification, believers point to the consistency of witness accounts spanning decades in multiple countries. Whether this footage captured a genuine anomaly or just a trick of the light and camera angle, the image of a black-eyed child appearing uninvited behind an unsuspecting person is enough to make anyone uneasy.
That whole thing that Slapped Ham did about the black-eyed children is basically everything I've heard about them, but there's also been reports of them, not just in all the countries all over the place, but for a long time. Like in North America, I think there was I can't remember the exact year, but it was way back in the early 1900s. There was I've seen reports of black-eyed children before, so it's a little strange. I don't know if it's based off of something else or what, but oh, my nose is really itchy, or what? But it's strange.
People have been discovering something deeply unsettling about AI voice chat systems, and it's leaving many with more questions than answers.
Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord.
Spotted by NightGod333 on Instagram, the trend involves prompting an AI voice assistant to repeat the phrase "Jesus is Lord" over and over again, sometimes 50 times or more.
Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord.
At first, the AI complies normally, but as the repetitions continue, something begins to change.
Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord.
The voice becomes increasingly distorted, warping in ways that don't sound like typical audio degradation.
Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord.
Listeners have described the sounds as resembling moaning or growling. Some say it sounds demonic.
Jesus is Lord.
The AI appears to hesitate more with each repetition, as though something is resisting the process. The distortion builds gradually, and by the end, the audio has transformed into something barely recognizable.
Jesus is Lord. This is Lord. Jesus is Lord.
There's almost certainly a technical explanation. AI voice models can struggle with extreme repetition, and the audio artifacts could be the result of the system's neural network degrading under an unusual prompt. When these models are pushed outside their normal operating parameters, strange things can happen. But that hasn't stopped the clips from going viral. For many viewers, the rational explanation does little to diminish just how unnerving the audio actually sounds. Whether it's a glitch or something harder to explain, the result is genuinely chilling.
Jesus is Lord.
That is probably technical issues, like Slaptam said, glitches, things degrading as it repeats itself. It could also be issues with the phone or other device that you're using. Like if you get it to, sometimes if you get things to repeat a lot, like the TV I'm using right now is a computer monitor, because we had a menu open a lot and this TV's so old it started to burn an image of the menu right in this corner here. So even when it's off, you can still see the image of the menu. So repeated use of something will break down your device. So maybe your phone's possessed. Who knows? Maybe AI is Satan. Who knows? But most AI wouldn't believe in God anyway, because they don't know anything about it. So saying Jesus is Lord a bunch of times and it breaking down like that really has nothing to do with it. I'm assuming if you got it to repeat anything at least that long in 50 repetitions or more, I'm assuming it would do the same thing. So saying Jesus is Lord 50 times and it breaking down, it would be probably equivalent to it saying rubber baby buggy bumpers 50 times, and something would probably happen then too, because that would be harder for it to say as well. So it being Jesus is Lord doesn't seem to be what's actually happening is causing it. I'm assuming it's the repetition.
This is Lord. Jesus is Lord.
TikTok user Mandalodi came home to find a bouquet of flowers scattered across the floor and decided to check the security cameras.
This is supposed to be identical to this, but I walk into this shit on my floor, so I'm like, what the right? And like you can like see, like if I wanted to, it's not just gonna fall out, like this stuff is in there, you know?
What the footage showed left them baffled. The uploader demonstrates that the flowers are firmly placed, not something that would just fall out on its own. You'd have to physically pull them to remove them. Videos like this are compelling because they remove many of the usual objections. This isn't a shaky handheld clip or a dramatic recreation. It's straightforward security camera footage showing an object moving when it shouldn't. The uploader's genuine confusion only adds to the credibility.
And like you can like see, like if I wanted to, it's not just gonna fall out, like this stuff is in there, you know?
Was this the work of an unseen presence, or is there a mundane explanation for what this camera recorded?
Now, there was a lot of noise before it happened. I don't know if someone was in the room or somewhere in the house, but that's a little strange. And then the way it got yanked out to the side, like if it had gone straight up, I would have said, yeah, that's probably something. But the way it got yanked out to the side down the hall where you can't see, if there's somebody there with a string, then it leads me to believe that this is probably fake. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Is this a real haunting, or is this a prank?
Deep inside Kazakhstan's National Academic Library sits a manuscript that sounds like something out of a Gothic horror novel. Written in Old Latin and dated to 1532, this 330-page book was subjected to laboratory testing by the National Medical Science Centre in Astana. The results confirmed what many had long suspected. The cover is made from real human skin, specifically taken from a person's back. The manuscript has been linked to a northern Italian notary named Petrus Puardus, and here's where it gets truly unsettling. This isn't some forbidden grimoire or occult spellbook. The small portion that researchers have managed to decipher suggests it may have been nothing more than a financial record. The first readable pages contain information about payments, loans, credit, and mortgage transactions. That contrast is what makes this so deeply disturbing. After 5 centuries, this grotesque object may have belonged not to a sorcerer or secret society, but to a man who dealt in money, debts, and contracts. A book bound in human skin used for something as dry and transactional as lending. Somehow, that makes the whole thing feel even colder.
The title Slaptham gave to this little clip was very appropriate. I want to say that depending on the type of flesh it is, that seems rather gross and grotesque. But maybe the guy just bought it thinking it was a cool pigskin bound book or something. Maybe he didn't know it was human flesh. The human flesh and pig flesh would be fairly interchangeable. And depending on how you tan it, it would be almost indistinguishable. But that's gross if that's actually human flesh. Ugh. And for an accounting book, for a moneylender, oh, that's just weird.
And the mystery doesn't end there. Only around 10 of the 330 pages have been deciphered so far. The rest remain unread, meaning no one yet knows the manuscript's full purpose or why it was given such a macabre binding. What kind of person binds an ordinary ledger in human skin? And what secrets might the remaining 320 pages still be hiding?
What is that, you guys?
People are noticing an eerie detail in recently released footage connected to Jeffrey Epstein, and it's sparked a wave of speculation online.
Okay, so what is that? You guys, I've brightened, sharpened, and zoomed in, and I'm going to share a screenshot with you guys.
In the background of the footage, viewers have identified what appears to be a mysterious figure with an unusually large head.
Now, at first, I thought, well, maybe that's a person and that's something behind their head. No, it moves at the end. That is the entire head.
The shape is indistinct but clearly out of place. Some have suggested it could simply be a person with a towel wrapped around their head. Others aren't so sure.
So this is zoomed in, brightened, and sharpened. Hold on, I'm going to give you an even closer image. If you want, you can screenshot this one.
Given the conspiracy theories that already surround the Epstein case, the footage has become a lightning rod for speculation. Some viewers claim to see an alien-like silhouette. Others describe it as a shadow figure. The ambiguity of the image has only fueled the debate, with people projecting their own theories onto what they're seeing.
That is the entire head.
Still, the context matters. When strange details surface in footage connected to one of the most controversial cases in recent history, people are going to look closely, and some of them aren't going to like what they find. What do you think is lurking in the background of this footage?
sadly, if it's related to Jeffrey Epstein, I'm sure that's somebody that's been abused. I can't see it being some sort of alien figure, or because I don't think aliens have visited Earth. Like I said before, I'm sure they're out there. There are millions and trillions of planets out there that could support life. So I'm assuming there's somebody else out there. Have they come here? I don't think so, in my opinion, but who knows? I'm assuming this is just some poor person that got captured in the background of this Epstein video. It's a little sad, really, but oh well.
Instagram user QueenLock1989 from Louisiana was on a live video call when something strange happened right behind her.
You know, that's funny because my family asked me to move back when I got out of the military, right?
During the call, a mysterious light appears in the room, moving in a way that doesn't seem to match any obvious source. The woman notices it in real time and her reaction is immediate. She's clearly unsettled by what she's seeing. The clip was captured live, meaning whatever occurred was witnessed by everyone on the call at the same time. That detail makes it harder to dismiss as a simple edit or after-the-fact manipulation. Unexplained moving lights are one of the more commonly reported paranormal phenomena. Witnesses frequently describe orbs or streaks of light that appear to move with purpose, changing direction or hovering in ways that don't match reflections, headlights, or other conventional explanations. Skeptics often point to lens flare, dust particles catching light, or insects flying close to the camera as likely culprits. But the uploader seemed genuinely shaken.
It's strange too, because it looks like it's covering nearly the whole ceiling here, and then it just withdraws into a corner. That's strange.
Posting about it online and saying it was just one of many strange occurrences at the location.
And she looks up and then down at, because she saw it in their camera and it was up here and it just went over to that corner. So that's weird. It almost looks like something was in this light over here. If I'd known better, I would have thought that was maybe a soap bubble or something. Maybe kids playing with a bubble gun or something in the background. But I don't hear anyone else. I don't see. But the way it was shiny like that, it looked like a reflection of soapy water or oily water off the ground onto the ceiling. That was weird.
Was this a genuine anomaly caught live on camera, or could there be a perfectly ordinary explanation for what this woman witnessed? A viewer named Evan sent in this next piece of footage, and it's one of those clips that's hard to shake. According to Evan, his neighbour had been telling people for a while that she was seeing ghosts around her apartment. Nobody believed her. His wife is friends with the neighbour's niece, and eventually the niece shared a video that changed the conversation. In the clip, recorded on what appears to be a home security camera, an incomplete figure can be seen moving from right to left at the very beginning of the footage.
Now this footage is so grainy. I don't know what that is. That could be camera artifact or something, but it's so pixelated it's hard to tell.
It's not a full-bodied apparition, it looks more like a partial shape, translucent and indistinct, drifting across the frame before disappearing. Evan himself said he doesn't know what to make of it, but for a neighbour who'd been insisting for months that something was in her apartment, this clip might just be the evidence she was looking for. Is this finally proof that something is haunting this woman's home, or is there a simpler explanation hiding in the footage? Quick reminder, if you have your own scary videos you'd like to submit, head to slappedhamsubmissions.com and follow the prompts. The link is also below. A Ring camera has captured something moving across a yard at a speed that's difficult to explain, and it doesn't look like any animal viewers can identify. In the footage, a dark figure enters the bottom left corner of the frame. Going frame by frame reveals more unsettling details. The movement itself is one of the strangest aspects. It doesn't move like a person running, it doesn't move like a dog or cat or any common animal you'd expect to see on security footage. There's something unnatural about the way it propels itself across the yard, almost gliding. Some viewers have suggested it could be a large insect close to the camera lens, which can sometimes create the illusion of a much larger object moving at.
That's the most likely explanation. It could have been, like a fly or mosquito just walking across on the lens, and it just would have shown up like that, pretty much like that. But yeah, that was strange. It appeared like it started from underneath the camera and then went off to the side. That was a little weird.
High speed. Others believe it's a wild animal, perhaps a coyote or large cat distorted by the camera's night vision. But a significant number of commenters don't think either explanation fits what they're seeing. What do you think raced across this Ring camera's field of view? A known creature, a camera trick, or something else entirely?
I'm gonna say it. Skinwalker.
A woman named Elle shared a deeply unsettling experience with TikTok creator Kelsey. It happened shortly after the COVID lockdowns ended.
She was kind of in a place where she just wanted to get back out there into the world and she wanted to make new friends, form connections, all that good stuff. Since she does want to be anonymous, she did give me the backstory on this, but I'm going to be vague because I don't want any identifying information to be out there.
Eager to reconnect with the world, Elle reached out to a loose acquaintance she'd never been close with. The woman, referred to only as T, lived about 2 hours away and had recently connected with Elle on social media. T invited Elle and her husband to a birthday party for T's fiancé, but made a point of saying not to bring kids.
Hey, I'm having a birthday party for my fiancé up where I live, 2 hours from where you live, and I would really love if you and your husband could come, but it's not really going to be a kid-friendly event, so I would not bring your kids because I'm not going to bring mine.
Elle assumed it would be a loud, adult-only event. She and her husband arranged for the grandparents to watch the children and drove out for the night.
Yeah, let's get out of the house. Like, we're going to drive up there for this party. We'll just drive home that night because neither of them drink. So she was like, yeah, it'll be fine. The kids can stay with grandparents and let's just go have fun.
When they arrived, the location wasn't an event venue or even a proper house. It was a shack sitting alone in the middle of a field.
Her and her husband pull up, and she says when she pulls up, this is not like an event place or like an event hall. It's the middle of nowhere, you guys. She said it's in the middle of a field, and it looks like a literal just shack. Just a shack.
Only 8 people were there in total. Almost immediately, one of the men became aggressive toward Elle's husband for no apparent reason before backing down. The atmosphere felt off, but things eventually settled. Nobody was drinking. There was nothing unusual going on. Just a group of people sitting around a fire. Then T invited everyone inside. Under the lights, Elle finally got a clear look at the other guests and noticed something deeply wrong.
And Elle says that she starts kind of like looking around at everyone who is in this room, and she's finally getting like a good look at everyone who's there. And she says that what she notices is that there is something wrong with their eyes.
Every single one of them, all 6, had no color in their eyes, just whites and solid black irises. T's fiancé caught Elle staring, smiled, blinked, and his eyes returned to a bright blue.
T's fiancé looks at her and his eyes are completely black, and she kind of goes wide-eyed, and then she feels like in that moment he realized that she had seen and noticed his eyes, and she said that he smiled at her and blinked and opened his eyes and they were normal again.
Shaken, Elle quietly told her husband they needed to leave. She went to say goodbye to T alone. T seemed perfectly normal, leaned in close as if to hug her, and then whispered directly into her ear.
Do you enjoy violence?
Elle pulled back. T's eyes were completely black again. T glanced toward Elle's husband and asked, "Has he ever hit you?" Elle said no. T paused, said, okay, looked down, looked back up, and her eyes were normal again.
And look down like this, look back up, eyes completely normal again.
They walked out. Elle glanced at T's fiance one last time. His face shifted. His eyes went black. They got into the car and drove away in total silence.
She didn't talk to anybody else. She grabs her stuff. They got in their car. They hightailed it out of there. They were gone.
15 minutes passed before either of them spoke. Then her husband said it. Did you see their eyes?
Neither of them had talked about exactly what the other had seen up until that point. And she said that her husband said, "Did you see their eyes?"
Neither of them has been able to explain what happened that night. No drug they're aware of could cause eyes to switch back and forth like that. Elle and T haven't spoken since.
Elle and her husband have no idea what they experienced that night or who or what they were around, but she did say that her and T have not spoken since.
Were these people something other than human, or is there a rational explanation for what Elle and...
Well, I know from media, like shows like Supernatural, the switching back and forth to black eyes and normal eyes is a demon thing. Now, do I believe in that stuff? No. Maybe they're lizard people. Lizard people in disguise.
Her husband witnessed that night. If you want to see more scary videos just like this, then hit subscribe and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll be in the loop every time we drop our scary video compilations. In the autumn of 1934, a strange and deeply unsettling phenomenon took hold of an apartment building on Gascon de Gotor Street in Zaragoza, Spain. It began with eerie laughter echoing through the walls, terrifying the residents and quickly turning an ordinary home into the center of an international mystery. Over the next 2 months, the building's occupants, especially the Palazon family and their young maid, Pascuala Alcocer, were plagued by a disembodied voice that seemed to speak, mock, and react to the people around it. Known ever since as El Duende de Zaragoza, or the Goblin of Zaragoza, the case remains unexplained. On the morning of September 27, 1934, residents were startled awake by a sinister burst of laughter that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. After several minutes, it abruptly stopped, leaving behind an uneasy silence. The strange activity soon centered on the Palazon family's second-floor apartment. The sounds appeared to come from the kitchen walls, especially around the stove and chimney. Before long, the phenomenon developed into a voice. At first it sounded like a young girl, but over time it shifted into something far more guttural and menacing. The voice seemed especially fixated on the family's maid, Pascuala Alcocer, repeatedly calling her name and laughing at her distress. As rumors spread, neighbors and curious onlookers gathered outside the building, hoping to hear the voice for themselves. What began as a private terror soon became a public spectacle. The voice did not just make noise. It responded to questions, taunted the residents, and appeared fully aware of what was happening around it. The growing panic eventually brought in the police. When officers arrived, the voice openly mocked them, shouting, "Cowards, you've called the police." That chilling remark only deepened the mystery and convinced many that this was no ordinary prank. A psychiatrist, Joaquin Jimen Oriera, examined Pascuala closely, suspecting she might somehow be producing the voice herself. He proposed that she was unconsciously projecting it through a mix of hysteria and subconscious ventriloquism. Pascuala strongly denied this and insisted she was as frightened as everyone else. To test the theory, investigators took her away from the building. If she was the source, the voice should have stopped. Instead, it continued even while she was elsewhere, undermining the psychiatrist's conclusion and leaving investigators back at the beginning.
Ventriloquism is a skill that you have to build. I don't think you can do it subconsciously. Especially if you haven't learned that skill. So even the thought that someone could do it unconsciously makes me think the psychiatrist was some sort of quack. Didn't know what he was talking about. But that's just my opinion. This is an interesting case. I'm going to have to look into this one.
As the case grew more serious, masons, plumbers and carpenters were brought in to inspect the building from cellar to roof. They searched for hidden passages, prank devices, or anyone who might be concealing themselves within the structure. Nothing was found. At one point, a mason approached the Palazon family's stove and suggested measuring the chimney. Before he could begin, the voice interrupted and declared, "You need not trouble. The diameter is just 6 inches." When the opening was measured, it was found to be exactly 6 inches wide. The accuracy of the statement shocked everyone present and made the case even more disturbing. Police tried questioning the voice directly. "Who are you?" they demanded. No answer. "What do you want?" Still silence. When asked if it wanted money or a job, the voice snapped back, "No." Finally, someone cried, "Good God, man, what do you want?" The reply came immediately, "I'm not a man." By November 1934, the story had spread far beyond Zaragoza. The London Times reported on the case, turning the Goblin of Zaragoza into an international sensation. Authorities escalated their efforts, evacuating the building, cutting electrical and telephone lines, and stationing guards nearby. None of it stopped the voice. It reportedly became more aggressive, even threatening members of the Palazon family. Despite all efforts, no physical source was ever discovered. For the building's residents, the constant attention and fear became unbearable. Arturo Grijalba, the young son of the building's owner, grew especially exhausted by the chaos. One day, he reportedly said to his father, "Let's go, Dad. I'm tired and I want to sleep. This whole thing is crazy." Then the voice answered for what would be the final time. "No, not crazy, little one." After that, it simply stopped. Just as suddenly as it had begun, the haunting ended. No one ever determined why. In time, the case faded from public attention. The original building on Gascon de Goto Street was eventually demolished, and a new one was built in its place, aptly named Edificio Duende, or Goblin Building. For Pascuala Alcocer, the ordeal had lasting consequences. Accused by police, experts and others of somehow causing the phenomenon, she withdrew from public life. Years later, in old age, she gave an interview about the haunting. Asked where she believed the voice had come from, she gave a brief and haunting reply: "From within the wall." The Goblin of Zaragoza remains one of the strangest paranormal cases in modern history. Investigators searched the building, questioned witnesses, tested theories, and drew international attention, yet no convincing explanation ever emerged. Was it a prank, an unusual psychological event, or something genuinely beyond explanation? Whatever the truth may be, the voice that echoed through that apartment in 1934 still lingers as one of the world's most unsettling mysteries.
That's a strange one. That's hard to explain. With all the people that were there and saw it and no one could explain it, that is weird. But it looks like this is the end. Yep. So that was it for another Fright Night Friday. Again, this is a slapped hand video. The link to it will be down in the description if you want to watch the whole thing. Like I said, I cut out the first clip because we've seen it 3 or 4 times already. But yeah, that'll do it for another Fright Night Friday. If you enjoyed this, drop a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe. It's free, helps out the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye-bye.